Over to you, sirs.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Just want to welcome everyone to this. Funny enough, it's the final session of the WAPI conference, and it's about property and land valuation, a round table. And good thing is, this will, I believe, will be more interactive because apart from myself being the moderator, we have two panelists and we have quite a number of people here. So I will say we'll give a lot of time for those in the audience to ask questions. But let me just kick off. But before I do that, I think, without sounding like a broken record, let me allow the panelists to introduce themselves again.
Thank you. My name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Roland Abonta. I am the President, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, a member of the Nigerian Institution and also a member of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. Thank you very much, Moderator.
My name is Yinka Motosho. I'm a fellow of the RICS and an associate of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. I am the immediate past chairman of the RICS Nigeria.
Right, let's go straight to business, as I say. Mr. President, at the last WAPI conference, and even conversations from yesterday I've been having with quite a number of those that are attending the program, there's a recurring question that has been hitting, at least a lot of people have been hitting me, and it comes down to the issue of standards. To be precise, standardization of valuations, especially valuation reporting in Nigeria and in those that are practicing in Nigeria. We would like you to tell us what the institution is doing to ensure that there is indeed a standard, if there is, for valuation reporting and practice.
Thank you very much. Very good question to ask. I must say that the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers have, over the years, which is about 50 years of existence in Nigeria, continued to issue our standards for the practice of valuation in Nigeria. And from year to year, we try to upgrade the standards to benchmark with the international valuation standards. Just recently, maybe a year or two ago, we started drawing up what is called Nigerian Valuation Standard, popularly known as the Green Book. And that particular valuation standards have been subjected to the stakeholders in the industry for their input and criticism. And of course, it has been properly harmonized and sent to international bodies for their validating. And I can confirm that it has been properly validated, particularly by IVSC, and right now is coming into effect in Nigeria in January 2019, when that document will be made available to the public. The other aspect is in terms of capacity building. We have really paid more attention to training valuers for valuation works in Nigeria. More so that our economy is such that is so much in a hurry in terms of changes. What you know today may not be what is happening tomorrow. And so it was interesting when I listened to the last panel, somebody saying that efforts are being made through digitalization to eliminate valuation, eliminate legal services. And at my seat there, I laughed. You can do that in UK, in Europe, in America, but not in Nigeria. They have stable economy here. But in Nigeria, after 1 year, you need to reconfirm the valuation you did because of the rapid changes we notice in our economy. Valuation is not only a digital process. There is inherent requirement of economic analysis of the local markets for you to be able to ascribe value to any asset at all. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think the key thing here from what you said is that for Nigeria, there's a standard that's going to be launched and used for Nigeria in January 2019. And the IVS and the RICS are presently going through it. Am I right?
I've already validated it and returned them. Yes.
All right, okay. I think the president deserves a round of applause. I think that's a major leap from last year. All right, we'll move to Mr. Omotosho now. Mr. Yinka Omotosho, you are the immediate past chairman of the RICS Nigeria Group. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was just 7 days ago that you handed over. The RICS has always prided itself internationally as the guide when it comes to professional standards. And I'm aware that this year, the RICS clocked celebrated 150 years. Now, some years ago, the same RICS had a relationship with IFMA, International Facility Management Association, in terms of bettering the practice of facility management. Now, I would like to know, and I believe this audience would like to know, that since the Nigerian group is here, what has the Nigerian group done to support the local professional body like the NIESB? We know that the RICS is not only the umbrella for valuers. There are land surveyors, there are quality surveyors, there are other allied professionals under the RICS. But valuers fall under Group International. So I'm being very, a bit more direct, talking about what the group has done to support naives, knowing that even Nigeria is not up to 150 years. Please, thank you.
Thank you very much. RICS at 150 years indicates that the history of the RICS dates back to the 21st of June, 1868. So, mentioning that the RICS is a guide to professional regulation, the RICS is not just a guide. The RICS is the gold standard when it comes to professional regulations worldwide. Now, the RICS, as it stands, with their 150 years of existence, has over 170,000 members, with operating in about 147 countries all over the world, including Nigeria. Talking about the Nigerian group, the president has mentioned that the standard, the new valuation standard in Nigeria, the Green Book, has been sent to the IPSC. It has also been sent to the RICS. The members of the RICS in Nigeria collated this Green Book together, and they're the ones who have now done a great job by sending it to the RICS in the UK. That's just one of the roles of the RICS in Nigeria. Apart from that, RICS members existing in Nigeria do a lot to support not just naives, but they also support other professional institutions like the NIQS, the NIS, and other surveying bodies.
different areas. Just yesterday, we had a session on data and transparency, the Transparency Roundtable, which was led by Dolapo. Where is he? Dolapo Omidire. He is a chartered surveyor. He's also talking and liaising with naives also on data and transparency, research, and other things. He's talking to the local bodies as well. So these are the many, many ways in which the RICS is supporting and helping the local professional bodies.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's good you mentioned data. Mr. President, I stand to be corrected. I'm a naive member, but pardon me if I ask you this question. First of all, roughly how many registered members do we have? Does naives have? Are we talking about 6,000? 5,000?
About 6,000 membership registered.
I'm going somewhere with this. Again, feedback from WAPI last year, and the feedback I'm getting also. The estate surveyors, based on that number, they are spread all over the country. They are basically, I believe, in almost all the local governments. And these are professionals that are regulated. Now, the question that has been asked regularly also is that why can't a body like Naives be the champion of gathering data, especially data that could be used in the built environment, with that reach and that spread beyond what the profession stands for? So again, I ask you, sir, because this data question is something that keeps bothering the whole built environment. So again, sir, that's why we thank God that you are here. What is the institution doing in this stead regarding that, data gathering to help the built environment?
Thank you very much. I attended the last panel here, and the issue of data was also mentioned. Let me make it very clear that we are in a nation where a lot of people hide information on properties based on the fact that they want to protect the interest of their clients. That has been the challenge with data gathering and retrieval of data, particularly in the real estate sector of our nation. But as a professional body, we have been able to surmount the issue of data challenges. As far back as 2013, we published the first edition of land and housing data, which is available and which was circulated to Nigerians. A second edition came in the year 2016. And then 2017, the field work was carried out and is being currently updated, and that data will be made public. We have also resolved that printing it out in booklet form and sending to offices have not so much reached those who will need the data. And so the institution have decided to place data on its platform of the operations of our members or activities of our members coming from the local governments, the state capitals, on the property transactions that took place in such places. A compilation is being done. The Research and Development Committee of the institution is working hard on that. And I believe by January 2019, our website platform will have full data covering the entire nation. And we hope to keep that on quarterly basis, update that and publish. So we are doing a lot, and I'm sure that business operators in the real estate sector will have access to those data when they are put on the platform.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Amotosho, there is a magazine I was going through some weeks ago. It's called the Modus magazine. I'm sure you're familiar with that, the magazine of chartered surveyors internationally. And in the current edition, on the front page, focused and talked about drones, drone technology, and how some chartered surveyors are just specialized now in applying the use of drones to carry out aerial photography, or call it area surveying. Specialization. There is a saying that the average Nigerian valuer is a jack of all trades, valuer. You've practiced abroad. You have been practicing for some years in Nigeria. And what's your take regarding specialization? And don't you think if focus is on specialization in valuation, that will deepen the practice and possibly bring out the better standards and reporting we're getting now? After you, I think the president should chip in on that issue of specialization. But I want you to take that on first.
Okay, thank you for that. I personally, I started my career in the UK. And I started it in the Valuation Office, District Valuer's Office, which was an executive agency of the British Inland Revenue. All we did in the Valuation Office was valuations. No agency, no property management, no facilities management, nothing at all, only valuations. The Valuation Office is known for doing valuations for the British government. That is the first time I was in a company where we specialized. Now, in the UK, chartered surveyors specialize. And in the area of valuation, you can see or you can meet some valuers who only do landlord and tenant, rent reviews, rating, compensation, industrial or commercial property. They specialize. Though the Rogba said the local valuer here is a jack of all trade, I personally think this is the way it is now because of the total number of estate surveyors and valuers in Nigeria are still at a low number. In the UK, there are thousands and thousands of chartered surveyors, and most of them do specialize. Specialization is key and is important to our practice. Apart from specialization, I will also chip in mega practices. That is the way we can improve our practice here. Now, when I was in the Valuation Office, I was representing the government, and every month we go to the Valuation Tribunal to defend what we call the valuation list or the rating list. We were up against other charter surveyors representing tenants who were paying the rates. We were representing the government. And 80% of those charter surveyors representing tenants were charter surveying firms who only specialized in rating. They did nothing else than rating valuation, rating appeals. So they were known for rating. Their clients, the odd Tesco's, Sainsbury's, or whatever they were, they knew these companies as rating specialists or rating consultants. And these firms were making a lot of money in rating. That is where specialization comes in. And they were known. I remember this particular firm, Evans and Payne. All they do in that firm was rating. And they were really a pain when they were negotiating or trying to negotiate the rating appeals with us because they gave us a lot of stress. But their area of practice was rating. So I will suggest and recommend specialization in our economy, in our market here. And it will go a long way for the local clients to respect and this will improve our practice to a large
Thank you.
extent.
Mr. President, do you want to react to that?
Thank you very much. I would like to say that our profession, Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, we encourage our members to specialize because there are more than 15 faculties in the institution, and each of those faculties deal with specific aspects of our profession. Only recently, the Faculty of Plants and Equipment had a workshop in Niger State on evaluation of solid mineral mines. And of course, that training afforded our members some form of opportunity to specialize in that aspect of valuation. But let me put a caveat here, that specialization will thrive in a ripe economy. We have an economy, a Nigerian economy, where most of the practice areas are yet to be fully developed. Take, for instance, if you're a valuer, you specialized in rating valuation, and almost all the states in the federation are now doing land use charge. You may find yourself having no job to do. So I think as much as we'll be encouraging specialization, we will also be waiting and hoping that our economy develops to that level of the countries we refer to, where even the ordinary citizens know who to go to when they are in need of a particular service. But we have a system now, once you are called estate surveyor and valuer, you could be called to do everything. And of course, the economy have not been too friendly, particularly with professionals. And the tendency to accept, because of the basic knowledge you have, to even deliver in that aspect is also there. So let's be careful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I just want to say quickly that if there's anyone that wants to ask a question, just let me know as I'm walking around so that I can start to count how many questions we have.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Continue.
All right. Now, if I don't ask this question, I think the person that brought me here will not carry me home. I think it's a very important question. And it's a question that a lot of international players here have asked me repeatedly over the years, and I think Mr. Motosho is among those that have been asked. Mr. President, I am a client. I'm based in England, and I'm coming to set up a practice or a business, sorry. I'm coming to spend good money, some millions of pounds, in Nigeria. And I have all my auditors, my books are, I'm even in the stock exchange in the UK, and I'm coming to Nigeria. For me to practice here, it's, I won't call it a must, but it's business standard for me to ensure that whatever I'm doing, even my consultants that I use are the same consultants that I use in England and the same consultants that I use in Singapore. We've been told, and I know this because I thank God I'm an estate surveyor and valuer, that it's only if you are registered with the institution, that is NIESV, and regulated by the regulatory board, that's the only way you can practice, let me use that word pronounce properly, practice valuations here or carry out valuation exercises legally for it to be legal. Why can't I rely on my professional valuers internationally that have international certifications that, Mr. President, you're a member of the RICS, I believe, that are even RICS or even American Society of Appraisers. Why can't they be allowed to carry out those valuations here and be accepted here? The question I'm saying, sir, is, I think it's straightforward. And I think the angle is not from the angle of changing the laws. We know what the law is locally. The point is, what is the issues in why the international players can't practice here? And if they are not being allowed to practice here, are there avenues that have been provided by the institution to get them a process of where they can be registered?
Thank you very much. Very important question, like you said. But let me state here that we have international firms that have practiced in Nigeria. From the early 50s, Knight Frank and Rotley came into Nigeria as a foreign body. But in obedience with the laws of the land, went into partnership with indigenous registered surveyors, some of them also who trained from UK. And of course, that firm of Knight Frank and Rotley is still strong, maybe one of the strongest in Nigeria, and is still doing business today in Nigeria with the foreign partnership. But what we have realized, which to me and to most locals looks like an economic sabotage, is the idea of foreign firm entering into the nation without any local partnership, without approaching the professional body in Nigeria in terms of relating with the body or seeking for proper certification or registration before going into practice. Totally, that is an economic sabotage, particularly to the local professional body. And I don't think any Nigerian surveyor will be able to do that in UK or United States. There are standards which are set for you to follow. The same way Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers and the regulatory body, ESVABON, Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria, have the processes even to give opportunity for foreign valuers to properly register and have proper practice in Nigeria. And I think if we want to follow due process, that is the best way to go. Of course, I had already alluded to the fact that our economy is special. If you go and take those who consult for you in UK, in US, and drop them in Morocco or Jengule in Lagos to do evaluation, the value you will get, only God will deliver you from troubles when there is problem. Thank you very much. The input of local valuers cannot be overemphasized. Thank you, sir.
So do I take it that there is a process in place within the institution for those that want to register to practice here?
Of course, there is a process.
Okay. For those that are hearing, the president, I think you can always meet the president after to get further details, and I'm sure that information is something you can pass across to the organizers.
Of course.
Yeah, Mr. Omotosho, quickly, I think I've been told 5 minutes remaining. I have one question for you, but is there anyone that wants to ask a question?
We have 2 people here who want to ask. Three.
Should
Three
I?
Questions.
Because just one question I want to ask.
Okay,
just a quick one. It's quite important because the president, Mr. Omotosho, you're an estate surveyor. I want you to go against your president with this question. Against him. Let me see. Artificial intelligence, technology, automated valuation models, softwares. Is Nigeria immune to what is ravaging, I will use that word, ravaging the world economy, especially when it comes to valuations? Is impacting on the built environment? And I'm aware that there are some aspects of valuation that through softwares now you can carry out from your computers in your bedroom. So I would like you to answer and tell me, as a practicing surveyor here, are we immune right now from the rigors of that technology locally?
Thank you, but with this type of question, I can't be against the president. It's a straightforward question.
Okay, let's hear
Are
it.
we immune to the automated valuation models or, in quotes, valuation software? Well, Nigeria is a developing nation. Nigeria has an emerging market. The use of technology is everywhere now. even the last session that came up, we're talking about prop tech. They were talking about IT and all this artificial intelligence for their practices as well. So everybody is talking about technology. I wouldn't say the Nigerian valuation market is immune. All I would say is that the issue of technology in the area of valuation, not other areas in real estate, let's say valuation, is an issue whereby the use of technology for our valuations has to do with the financial industry and the IT applications. They have to collaborate with the valuation sector in the type of IT or software they will use to carry out valuations. In the UK, the IT or the software we use are all approved or are all in accordance with what the financial industry requires. There's so many softwares in the UK. When I was in the UK, we use software like Quest, Valuation Exchange, Smart Survey, Survey Hub, BCIS, insurance code software for building insurance calculations. We use a host, Cougar, Argos. We use a host of software for our valuations, which made life easier for the valuer.
Okay.
So until we get to that level in Nigeria, with the help of the financial institutions, then I think IT will become very, very, very important and relevant in our market.
No problem. We'll give it up for questions now, and you dodged that question, actually. But I understand why. You are being diplomatic. Thank you. Questions, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Susan Oluwole, and this has been a very interesting discussion, particularly hearing about the ways that foreign estate companies can partner with Nigerian firms to do legal valuations that are legal. My question is very basic.
It's directed to who, please?
I think it will be directed to probably the president.
Yes, so
maybe,
please, fire him.
Mr. Rogba.
Please.
Okay, so my question is basic, and it's in my job, I sell properties. Part of it is selling properties, and to be able to determine the pricing for those properties, I need to do valuations, and 3 valuations for that matter, to get an average open market value. Now, the issue is when those valuations come and they're from top real estate firms, there's a huge disparity, sometimes up to 100%, in the different values. Now, what is the reason for that? How can we solve that issue? It's basic, because I know everybody kind of has experienced this at one point or the other, but how do we solve it? Is the Green Book going to address that issue? My second question is, with the Green Book and the Red Book, come January 2019, which book do we refer to in terms of standards?
Let's be educated a bit. A lot of people in the audience don't know what you call Red Book. You're talking about the Bible for the RICS, right? For valuing. Yes, please. Okay.
Okay, yes. Let's take that question first, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me say that currently, like I've said before, we have always had standards which are locally used by valuers. The Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers have always had internal documents that members refer to when carrying out valuation. But let me talk about the disparity. It has been repeated in this hall about 2-3 times today that data is a great challenge to our nation, retrievable data. And somebody said in the earlier panel that data is available, but the apathy with which people treat data, they don't want to give it out. They want to hold their claims in confidentiality. And of course, people value from different information base. And if you don't use the correct one, there will be disparity like you have said. But unless I see what you are referring to, I cannot believe or accept that when two valuers in Nigeria finish valuing, whether they are the top or the middle or the lower range, they cannot have 100% disparity. Professionally is allowed for you to have about 5 to 10% margin in terms of disparity, but not for you to have 50 or 100%, as we are saying. I believe that it's not happening. If it happened, it must be so many years ago. And of course, let me also give you the opportunity to know that you can take up such films through a professional practice committee. And of course, you could ask the institution to vet and discover what went wrong among those that submitted such valuation. And of course, it's a punishable offense. The institution do not play with that. Such members will be sanctioned. What book will we be using till January? The books we have been using. Close to 10% of NAIS members who are registered surveyors are now members of RICS. And the red book is even available to non-members of RICS. So that's the book that is being used now. But by January 2019, the green book, the Nigerian Valuation Standard Book, will be made public and will be made available. So personally, you can talk to me, and then I'll guide you on how you get those people to know who among them did the right thing. And that's the work that the professional body does as an umpire of the last resort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 minutes left. And there are 3 people that want to ask questions. So you keep your questions short and the answers short so we can get everybody in.
Good afternoon, sirs. My name is Femi Odulami. I represent BRICS Infrastructure. I have only one question for Mr. President. We have cases where we want to buy a property that is being sold by a financial institution, a government agency like AMCON. And then we need to carry out a valuation of such a property. But then they have a list of estate surveyors and valuers that they work with. So if you bring any other one that is not on their list, it is not acceptable. So what is the body doing to phase out such discrimination?
Thank you very much. I like the word discrimination. And I want to say that that's the part of the corrupt practices in Nigeria, where a bank manager who knows little to nothing about valuation sits in his office, sets up his own standard, and then form a list, probably of people he knows, and people who will be able to do returns to him, and then insist that unless you make that list, you will not value. The institution is seriously fighting that. First, we are dealing with the bankers community to let them know that the profession is a self-regulatory profession. Just like the first person that asked question asked, if any of our members default, you should come back to the institution and then we'll be able to take the proper step. But if you, on account that 1 or 2 people have disappointed you in the past, you begin to do apathy against some registered valuers and refuse that they should submit report to you. It's a matter that if that valuer goes to court to prove that he's a registered valuer in Nigeria, that financial institution will be in trouble. So I insist that it is a wrongdoing, and of course the institution is making every effort to get it from the top level, the bankers committee, that such practice be abolished. A valuer should be a valuer. A lawyer should be a lawyer. So financial institutions have right to negotiate on behalf of their clients or allow the valuer to negotiate with their clients on the nature of fees to be paid. The practice of bankers charging and then paying valuers pittance and expect that valuers will keep quiet. Under our watch, we are going to stop that. That I can assure you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now we have time for just one more question from here. We're 3 minutes towards the end, and we really want to end at 5 on the dot.
Thank you. I'm sorry that most of the questions that are coming to you are bordering on the issue of disparity between valuations that are obtained in the industry. I know that I should keep this very short. It is something I think the profession needs to really address, because merely saying report to the institution and all that, I know it's a goodwill message. We will take to it. But really and truly, over the years, we've had situations in which, even say from abroad, they'll tell you, I want Knight Frank and no one else. You know, you start asking yourself, what about the others? The others are also professionally sound and they can give valuation. So it's about integrity. You know, is to develop the profession in such a way that people have confidence. That's where I will end it, because I know I should keep it short.
Thank you, sir. Absolutely, I take that advice, and we will work more on it. It's a work in progress, and I assure you that it's going to be totally carved out, particularly under our watch. Thank you.
I'll let our moderator do a very quick 1 minute wrap.
Yes, the 1 minute is very simple. You give an instruction out, someone does a valuation, you are not satisfied with it. Let's stop the discussions at the beer parlors. The institution's details are on the websites. Send the reports. Send the complaints. Okay? It's good you are making these observations. I've had all kinds of observations. As the chairman of the branch, I get it every minute, almost every hour. But as I tell people, you feel somebody has valued a property and that has cost you money, write to the institution. There is a committee there that is a professional practice committee that will look into it. And take it from me, you don't want to get close to those that are in that committee. They don't bend. They are people of integrity. And final note, there is indeed a standard. And I think, as the president is saying, I think this is good news. We should all wait till January. And that standard, I think, is tailored around the RICS standard, the Red Book. So on that note, I think, Mr. President, thank you for coming. And Mr. Omotosho, enjoy your retirement from being chairman of RICS Nigeria Group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Another round of applause, please. We thank very much our moderator and our panelists for the insightful panel discussion. And I'll let them leave the stage. Oh, where's the photographer? Okay, yes, we would like to take some pictures. Oh, no, he's coming. And while that's going on, I just want to say thank you. We have come to the end of the West Africa Property Investment Summit and Exhibition. It's been an amazing 2 days. A lot has been discussed in the industry. There's been a lot of key takeaways, and I hope that we can turn some of those discussions that we've had into actions, so that when we're back again next year or the year after, we're not saying the same thing. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all our delegates and our sponsors and partners for making WAPI 2018 a success. We hope that you found valuable value and insight in our sessions, and look forward to seeing how you all implement what you've learned and discussed over the last 2 days. Thank you to our sponsors and our partners once again, our platinum sponsor, Brawl Property Group. Without you, we would not be able to have done this event. We thank you. Dinner sponsors, Zama. Lunch sponsors, Urban Shelter. I think we can all say we thoroughly enjoyed the meals that we've had over the past 2 days. Our silver sponsors, OPIC and NMRC. The IFC Edge is our Development Innovation Forum sponsor. Industry sponsors, Rendezvous, Profica, Cushman & Wakefield Accelerate, Landmark Africa Group, Estate Links, Sterling Bank, Alpha Mead Group. Our advertising sponsor, Gold Key, research partner, Estate Intel, industry partners, North Court, Detail Solicitors, AUHF, Neves, RICS, Highbrow Living, Castles Lifestyle, McKernas 360. We thank you all. All their names are listed there. Please be aware and save some of these dates. Next year's WAPI will take place 27th, 28th of November in Lagos. The Africa Property Investment Summit is on the 2nd and 3rd of October in Johannesburg. And the Franco Real Property Investment Summit and Expo is on the 29th and 30th of October in Abidjan. A key feature of the API Summit and Expo held in Johannesburg every year is the API Awards, which was expanded to 12 categories this year and was open to completed projects between 2016 and 14th August this year. It's the only peer-recognized awards program of its type in Africa. Next year, the awards will be open to completed projects between 2017 and 14th of August 2019. The awards have grown to include new and niche categories, and we truly believe with the fair and transparent scorecard system and independent jury, more of sub-Saharan Africa's gems and innovative solutions are being seen by more and more of the globe and given the recognition and appreciation that they all deserve. As I said a few times, issue 4 of Skyline magazine is out. That's African Property Skyline magazine. It's Africa's real estate showcase magazine featuring the top news that you need to know on the continent's real estate sector. Once again, we would like to thank all our sponsors, exhibitors, speakers, and delegates for making this conference possible. And a special thanks goes to our platinum sponsor, Brawl Property Group. It's been an honor to be your MC. My name is Didi Akinyelure. I'm going back to my day job at Reuters, but it's been an absolute pleasure to be your host for the past 2 days. Now, can I just mention quickly, and I'll say this quite loud, can you please make sure all our partners and exhibitors, can you make sure that you get all of your banners and all of your materials out of the Eco Hotel hall today? Eco Hotel would like everything cleared, so we ask that you don't forget your banners and don't forget your stands and your magazines and your leaflets. Please take them out with you now. And don't forget your bags. Please, if you check for your phones, check for your bags, check for your laptops. We don't want anything left in the hall. This hall will be cleared and used for another event. So we